What is transcendence?
Checking on that for you. This might answer your question.
A state of being or existence above and beyond the limits of material experience. I think I'm going to need a little more than that.
When I think about transcendence, I think about those numinous moments that I've experienced in my life. Numinous refers to those moments when you feel connected to something larger than yourself. Call it the divine mystery, or oneness, or God. I've had several of these moments in different places. I've had them in places like this, out in nature. I had some significant ones right on the banks or in the Pecos River. But I've also had them driving in my car, or walking along an inside YMCA track. I was vacationing with my family in Pecos, New Mexico, up in the mountains. This is a place that we used to go to every year, our entire family, my husband's mother, my parents, my siblings, and of course our children. And it was this one really hot day, and I just waded out in the middle of the Pecos River. It's not very deep, and lay down in it, just stretched out, even submerging my head. It felt so good. And as I was doing this, I received this message. It said, "There will always be waters to refresh you." Well, I thought that was nice, maybe a little poetic. It didn't really mean that much to me right then. And then a couple of days later, we found out that this place where we always went on vacation was going to be sold. We'd never be able to go back. And so then those words came back to me. They were a comfort. No matter where I go, there will always be waters to refresh me. So what do we do with these moments that we can't fully explain? When the ghost of Jacob Marley visits Scrooge, he says to Scrooge, "You don't believe in me, do you?" Scrooge says, "No, I don't." And Marley says, "Well, what evidence would you have outside of your senses?" Scrooge says, "There isn't any." So Marley says, "Well, why do you not trust your own senses?" And Scrooge says, as many of us would, "My senses are too easily fooled. You very well could simply be a bit of undigested beef." So, do we discount these things? We do need to question them. And are they actually something transcendent? Or are they merely an indication of something that we want to believe anyway? One of my favorite stories about transcendence comes from Noel Paul Stookey, also known as one of the people in Peter, Paul, and Mary. In speaking about one of the songs that he wrote by himself, a song you've probably heard, it's called The Wedding Song, he says, "Into every person's life comes a song or a writing that they can't really account from their own experience." He felt so strongly that that song did not come from his own experience, did not come from his own brain, that it came through him, not by him, that he refused any profits from the song. Instead, he set up a foundation. All the profits go there, and it's distributed to worthy charities. So I had to do a religious career assessment as part of my preparation for ministry. And the counselor was asking about some of these numinous moments, and I was telling her about them. And with everyone, I would explain, okay, it's not like I actually heard, voices from the sky or anything. It's not like I, saw an actual vision. And finally she just stopped me and she put her pen down and she said, "Why do you keep doing that?" And I just immediately responded with, "Because I'm a Unitarian Universalist." This is what we do. We have a healthy skepticism for anyone, especially ourselves, who would claim to be receiving messages from God. I mean, apparently, God told Michelle Bachmann and Rick Perry to run for president. I'm kind of questioning that God's judgment. But you know what? Okay, you've pushed me. I'll name it. I hear God. Okay, one thing that I feel very confident about God, however you define it, is that God has a tremendous sense of humor, because right as I shouted out that thing about believing in God, two strange people came walking past. Okay, so what does it say about me that I'm walking away and I'm thinking, oh no, there are two complete strangers who just heard me say out loud, I believe in God, and I'm feeling really uncomfortable about that. It's crazy, isn't it? I have friends who come from far more conservative religious backgrounds, and for them, it's that they can never admit that they don't believe in God. And here I am feeling uncomfortable because I just admitted to you and to two complete strangers that I do believe in God. I mean, shouldn't there be a safe place, a middle ground where we can believe or not believe in God as it seems authentic to us? I don't know the exact source of these numinous moments in my life. I don't think that I can give a very good explanation for what is the transcendent. But there is one thing I know, and that is that I have a profound gratitude for these special moments, these feelings of oneness, and these messages that I receive and that help guide my life. Have you had numinous moments? Have you had messages that have come into your heart that you can't fully explain where they came from? What were those like?